All right, let's get into it. Today, we're going to tear down a single document, a daily digital devotional, to really see how it's put together. We're going to break down how it takes a core message, turns that into a personal call to action, and then uses all of that to build a massive global community online. So, let's dive in.
You know, everything's got to start with a hook, and wow, this one is powerful. This is the theme for the entire month, freedom from the oppressors. It's bold, it's emotional, and right away, it sets up this feeling of a big problem and a big solution. This is what grabs you and pulls you in. Okay, so here's our game plan for this breakdown. We're going to start with the main teaching, the core idea. Then we'll see how that idea pushes you toward personal action. From there, we'll look at the tool they use for conversion, check out the huge mission they've built, and finally explore the digital glue that holds it all together. First things first, the message itself. This is the foundation, right? Everything else is built on top of this. And it's not just some nice thought for the day, it's a piece of teaching that's specifically designed to make the reader feel empowered. And the whole thing is anchored to this one single verse from the book of Acts. This scripture, it's like the ultimate source of authority for their message. It directly connects this promise of divine power to you, the reader, in your own personal life. Now, for this to make sense, we've got to understand the terms they're using. When this text says oppression, it's not necessarily talking about politics or society. It's defining it as spiritual challenges, these attacks from an enemy. And that completely reframes the problem as something you can fight and win spiritually, not just with practical, everyday solutions. So here's the really crucial part. The text creates this two-part solution. First, you get the power to solve your own problem, to fight back against this oppression. But then, and this is key, that personal victory becomes your story, your testimony. It's what makes you a witness. See how that works? It's a cycle that just keeps going. Empowerment, then outreach. Okay, so having a message is one thing, right? But getting someone to actually do something with it, that's a whole other challenge. This next part is all about that shift, moving from just reading something passively to actively getting involved. This is where it gets personal. And they don't leave you hanging wondering what to do next. Nope, they give you two super clear, really simple, actionable steps. And if you look closely, these steps perfectly mirror the two parts of the message we just talked about. First, get the power, and second, become a witness. It's a really clear path. And you know, to make it even easier, they give you a prayer that's already written out. This thing is basically a script. It takes that abstract idea of taking action and turns into something concrete, something personal you can actually say out loud. It's a powerful way to get you to internalize the message. Now we get to a part that is absolutely critical for any kind of evangelical outreach, a direct path to conversion. This section isn't really for someone who's already a believer. It's a dedicated tool designed for people who are new or maybe just searching for something. So if you look at this prayer, it's basically a guided confession of faith. It's carefully structured around these key theological points, and each one is backed up by a specific Bible verse. It walks you through a logical sequence of belief, from seeing a problem, sin, to accepting the solution, Jesus. It's a very systematic conversion process. But here's the thing. It doesn't just end with the prayer. And this is so important. Right after, a free ebook is offered. That is a classic and really effective way to keep people engaged. It gives them instant follow-up, welcomes them into the fold, and starts that process of getting them more deeply involved. So once that personal journey is laid out, the document kind of zooms out to show you the bigger picture. This is where it connects your individual spiritual experience to this massive collective mission. And that mission, it's defined by one absolutely staggering number, 500 million. I mean, putting a number that huge on your goal, it creates this incredible sense of scale, of urgency, and of ambition. It makes you feel like you're joining something truly enormous. And they give the mission this official, almost military-style name, Operation 500 Million Souls for Christ. Using language like that, it frames the whole thing as this coordinated, serious, active campaign. It gives it a real sense of weight and purpose. So you might be thinking, okay, how do I actually join this operation? Well, they lay out 3 different ways to get involved. You can be a prayer partner, a volunteer missionary, or a kingdom investor. This gives people multiple ways to get on board, You can join in based on how much time, energy, or money you have. All right, for our last piece of the puzzle, let's look at the engine that's really powering this whole thing. I mean, how do you connect millions of people from all over the world?
You do it with a really smart digital setup.
Okay, now this table is fascinating. It's a coordinated global prayer schedule that covers multiple time zones. This does two brilliant things at once. First, it makes sure there's a constant 24-hour cycle of prayer happening. And second, it creates this powerful feeling of a unified global community where everyone is participating together, just at different times. And of course, they're using all the modern tools to keep everyone connected. You've got WhatsApp and Telegram for that direct community messaging, and then Facebook, TikTok, and YouTube for getting the content out to a wider audience. It's a smart strategy to meet people right where they are online.
So, when we put it all together, what have we really seen here? We've watched how a single digital document can systematically walk a reader from a core idea to personal action, to conversion, and finally pull them into a huge global mission. It really leaves us with this final thought. How can a model like this be used to build other kinds of truly global unified communities, all through the power of a well-structured digital message? Thanks for watching.
Good day, beloved. Thank you for watching. If this kingdom message has blessed you, please like, comment, and share with someone today. Stay connected with God's servant David Felix Nwefulu by subscribing for more daily kingdom inspirations and turn on your notification button so you do not miss a word that strengthens your faith. God bless you.